Okay, welcome to Team Call, everybody. I'm so excited and love seeing all of your faces. I also want to say I love you all, but I feel like I see the stress of the holiday season kind of on each of your faces too. So I want this time to be a time that is giving to you and that is encouraging to you and just is going to refuel your hearts just to propel you forward in life. Okay. So I want to start out real quick with a devotional that just spoke to my heart today. And then we'll pray and get started. So, okay. So it says, I am speaking in the depths of your being. Be still so that you can hear my voice. I speak in the language of love. My words fill you with life, peace, joy, and hope. I desire to talk with all of my children, but many of you are too busy to listen. The work ethic has become tied up, has people tied up in knots. They submit wholeheartedly to this taskmaster, wondering why they feel distant and depleted. Living close to me requires making me your first love, your highest priority. As you seek my presence above all else, you experience joy and peace in full measure. I am blessed when you make me first in your life. While you journey through life in my presence, my glory brightens the world around you. And it says, Psalms 119:64 says, the earth is filled with your love, O Lord. Teach me your decrees. And then there's another one that I loved. It says Isaiah 54, Isaiah 54 says, the sovereign Lord has given me an instructed tongue to know the word that sustains the weary. He awakens me morning by morning, awakens my ear to listen like one being taught. And this devotional really set heavy on my heart because this last weekend, I feel like the last 3 or 4 days, I have just been go, 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 go because many of you saw my daughter's 16th birthday was this weekend. So we were just in full blown everything birthday mode. And when life like that, and I feel like the holidays are kind of similar. Sometimes work can be similar. It makes you just constantly, you wake up, you're already feeling like you're behind, and you constantly feel like you're just starting out and go, go, go. And I know all of you were at the prayer retreat when we talked about how it is so important to remember to put the first things first. And I think that is something that tends to go by the wayside so easily. And it's all of us, you guys. Like, don't any one of you and anyone listening, don't feel like we're talking specifically about anybody's. It is humanity. Even the Lord says, like, every single person has this issue, right? We get so busy with the day-to-day activities that we sometimes forget that it could just be taking a moment to take a deep breath and just center yourself and just refocus and say, Lord, I need you. Please help direct me today, you know? And I think sometimes that's one of the biggest. I will tell you, Cassie is really good about this. We've gotten really good about this for both of us when we are contacting Marcoing, and she can see it on my face or I can see it on her face, and you just look depleted or worn out, right? And her first question to me is always, did you get in the word today? Or how long has it been since you've been in the word? And that is such a spirit check for me because a lot of times it's either I have been in the word, but it was basically a checkbox, right? I'm so guilty of that sometimes. Or I haven't been in the word for, like, 2 or 3 days. And I can feel it in my spirit. And you guys, the reason I wanted to bring this up, that I felt like this is super important, is this kind of leads me to where the Lord has really been speaking to me this month and last month, is that the closer I tether myself to him and his presence in my overall life, the more that I feel him speak to me with where I'm supposed to go in my business, with where I'm supposed to go in life, with where I'm supposed to go in my parenting, like all of these different things. It matters so importantly that we are putting the first things first into our lives. Because if we truly want the Lord to inundate our business, we cannot put the business above the Lord, right? And I'm not saying any of us here are necessarily doing that, but it goes with everything. It goes with business. It goes with work. It goes with, oh, there comes Aaron. It goes with parenting. It goes with your marriage. Like if we hold something above what the Lord is in our lives, then the Lord cannot pour into that, if that makes sense. It's like if you think about a waterfall, right? If you're thinking about a waterfall and how God is preparing the things for us as we go forward, if you're putting something ahead of Him, He cannot pour into that, and He won't pour into that because that's not the way that it's supposed to go. And He can't bless that if it's not under His covering. And so, as we proceed and go through to the end, middle to end of the month. Obviously, next week's going to be really, really super busy. And everybody is going to be distracted, and that's okay. The important part is when it comes to being a business owner, you're still showing up. You're still lighting your light for other people to see. That's why that scripture stuck out so good to me, is because in light, when we're putting our lives at the feet of Jesus every morning and we're asking Him to inundate our spirits to be able to bless others through whatever we're doing in that day, our business goes hand in hand with that, right? We are able to be literally the living, breathing hands and feet of Jesus by starting conversation with them and offering them something that we potentially have that could be a blessing to them. And it's not for everybody, and that's okay. We have to be okay with the fact that that's okay. We don't want it to be for somebody who's just like, oh, I'm going to try it for, 2 weeks and then be like, no, they're not ready. We want to find those people that are ready and that are really intent on being committed. Number one, to change their health, or number two, to change their finances. And to be able to do that the best, this is the very first thing that I want to go to, because I feel like whenever I'm tethered to the Lord in my overall life, in my business, it just pours out. And I can hear from the Lord when I'm, driving home and God speaks a name and I'm like, ooh, I should reach out to that person. Or when I'm going through Facebook and I see something that somebody's like struggling with something and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have something to help with that, right? So God is going to pour into that if you allow Him to pour into you first. And I think that's definitely something we have to remember. So the scripture says, Isaiah chapter 50, verse 4 says, the sovereign Lord has given me an instructed tongue to know the word that sustains the weary. He wakens me morning by morning, wakens my ear to listen like one being taught. I constantly want to be able to hear and listen because I want my tongue to know exactly what it's supposed to do. And if I spend too long with not being in my word, this is not actually my Bible. I just realized I'm acting like it's my Bible. Not actually my Bible, but it's my devotional. But if I spend too many days not getting the word inundated into my spirit, how do I expect to be able to pour that out to my customers, to be able to pour that out to people who just need maybe an answer to their prayers, whether it be financially or whether it be in their health, right? And so I want to encourage you. So with this coming on to the middle of the month, so this is the middle of the month, right? Sometimes we can get to where we're discouraged. Sometimes we can get to where we're just like, oh, I might as well stop and start next month. I want to really tell you that that's a lie of the enemy. That's called giving up on yourself. And we're not going to do that. And what really you have to think about, especially for this month, is yes, we all want to be able to take the time next week to focus on our families. We don't have to want to be worried about our business. We want to know that our business is going to take care of itself. And that's the beautiful part of this, is that it can. If we are diligent and focus 30 minutes to an hour the next few days on getting things scheduled to making sure that we are like praying about the people to reach out to, we're going to start building, right, a foundation for the next couple weeks. Because after the holidays, you guys, what is the number one or maybe number one and two things that people are going to start thinking about as we head into January?
Health and weight.
Yeah, health, sometimes finances, sometimes they have
Energy.
extra money, yeah, energy. Yeah, they're starting to think about, okay, it's going to be a new year. What are we going to do? That is our time to shine a lot of times. And that, excuse me, that is one of the biggest things that we have an asset for with this time of year is the top two things that people want at the beginning of every year is better health and better financial situations a lot of times. And we have the ability to truly offer that to every single person. The thing is, you have to get out of your heads that you are answering that for people that they don't need that, either one of those. We have to step out in boldness. If the Lord lays somebody on your heart, or if you're thinking, oh man, I haven't talked to that, I wonder if they'd be like, sometimes I feel like we discount thoughts that the Lord places in our brain. And yes, there may be a situation where you're like, oh, I just saw so many of them, like so many of their posts, that it wasn't probably God that told me to do it. It was just me seeing their posts. Well, who do you think put them in your news feed? Like, if God lays it on your heart to reach out to somebody, be obedient in that and reach out to them. You never know. And you know what? It, quite honestly, may not be the right time for them, but at least you're planting a seed. And here in a few months, as you just kind of love on them and have those conversations with them and build more of a relationship with them, and they start to trust you, and then they start to see that you're not just a crazy person who just wants to sell, sell, sell. You're actually somebody who cares and somebody who loves people and somebody who believes that they do actually have something and they know that they have something that could be really beneficial for them. And over time, those relationships are going to build up into people coming and saying, okay, I know it's the end of the month, Darcy, but we haven't talked about this in a while, but I see your post and I would really like to see what it takes to get started. I mean, we've all had those conversations with people just show up and you're like, man, I wasn't even planning on that person, but here they are. And it's all because you started a conversation with them probably months before. So remember, when we are going into even the middle of this month, we're actually starting to plant seeds and pour into other conversations that maybe we've planted seeds in the past of possibility and potential that what other people may need next month. So I definitely don't want to at all discourage anybody from continuing to try to encourage people to get started this month because you guys, we still have the healthy habits group that starts on the 19th. It actually starts on the 20th. Everybody has to have their order in to be in that group by the 19th. So it is a great opportunity to reach out to all your previous customers and invite them to that, especially the ones that already have 100 PV. It is an awesome opportunity for them. We had multiple people in our team last year that won cash for this. And I'm talking hundreds of dollars, not just like $50 or $25. I think Shelby, I want to say Shelby won two in each of them. Yeah. Yeah, she won two different times. And I know one of them was like 150 bucks. And that was a huge blessing to her, you guys. Like your customers, they're blessing you by continuing to order or being consistent with their products. Let's encourage them to get into these groups so that we can bless them because it would be so fun to have one of each of our current customers be able to win some of that cash and be able to kind of pour that out and celebrate with them. I think this is probably one of my favorite events of the entire year is the one that we get to put all that cash in because that just blesses people in general to be able to pay a bill for them or to be able to, pay for a nice night out or whatever it looks like. But it's a great opportunity to reach out to current customers and past customers, invite them to that if they want to put in an order. And then the other thing is they still have the free reset for anybody who is a new customer. We still have the free reset all month. You guys, that's huge. And that's really, really cool because you have that free reset they can get, plus they get into the healthy habits group. So utilize the tools that we have that Plexus has given us and all of our jewels and uplines are giving us to be able to pour into our people. Because I don't know about you, but it gives my heart just a whole new level of joy to be able to really pour into my people and to be able to offer them something that could be a huge blessing to them. So I've had a lot of fun with reaching out to people and kind of inviting people and getting in conversation of people I haven't talked to in a long time. So I would really encourage you guys to do the same. Do you guys have any questions over any of that? Nope, nope. Okay, just making sure. Okay, the second thing I'm going to mention real quick, and then Aaron, I'll go ahead and let you pop on too. The second thing I wanted to mention really quick was we have our Super Saturday coming up in literally 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. I am so excited. I know Aaron's eyes got real big, but you guys, it's going to be amazing. We have 5 bunks left, and Cassie and I have been praying over every single one of those bunks. We would love to fill them with somebody who is a plexus person, not a plexus person, somebody who just needs a weekend away. Like this could be a massive blessing. Even if you tell them like you can come, you don't even have to come to any of the things, totally fine. If somebody desperately needs a weekend away and $250 can give them that with food and bedding, like let's bless people. So I would highly encourage you guys to be praying over a couple extra names of people that you can reach out to and invite because that is definitely something. I mean, 5 bunks to have a completely packed house. I mean, what an incredible blessing. And we have some really fun stuff that we're planning for that Friday to really be able to beef up our businesses, to beef up each other, to really encourage you guys and help us all to grow. So I am super pumped about that. What about you, Miss Erin? Hi, friend.
Sorry, I'm coming in hot, bouncing from all the things this time of year.
You are
Um,
good.
so I missed the first part. I'm so sorry, but I just wanted to, yeah, reiterate what Julia was saying. I think one thing that I've been trying to really focus on because sometimes I think we get caught up in the hustle and bustle of this season, in the hustle and bustle of our business, and going for big goals or going for Christmas cash or like running for things, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like we have big vision. We But sometimes I feel like I am guilty of getting caught up in the this the sprint and looking and not taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture, and that really I have a really huge vision for my family, for my team, for the people that want to rise up with me. And sometimes that really needs to be more of a marathon focus by doing the consistent things and showing up, like Julia said, just even in those buckets of time. So one thing that really has been stirring on my heart, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this even at Super Saturday, but is just I've really been trying to recenter myself because my heart is never, ever to make somebody feel like a number or a transaction or a check mark on my goal sheet. That is
Right.
never, ever my heart. And I know that that's not yours either. And so I've really been trying to recenter and go back and focus on connection with my team, connection with my customers, and connection with my future customers and team. Because sometimes we get so caught up in the, oh, what's the next follow up? Oh, I haven't heard back from them. What's the next sale I can share with them? Instead of just checking in with them and connecting. So I literally have carved time and challenged some of the girls that I've been coaching to carve time first thing in the morning to it's connection time. Like we're going to go start conversations and we're going to connect with people, and you cannot talk about plexus. You're going to pray for them, you're going to connect, actual real life conversation because we do care. But sometimes because we are so goal oriented, our brains just go, oh, here's the goal. Here's what we need to do. And like we tend to like bulldoze over everything else. And it's not with ill intentions or a heart that doesn't love people, but many of us are very goal oriented and very, I don't know what the right word is, Julia, but just focus on that. Guilty. Me too. Me too. And so it has just been so refreshing. And for the girls that I've been coaching that have done it too, I'm like, you're not allowed to bring up plexus during this time. Like you're just connecting with people, loving on them, checking in. I don't care if you've talked to them about plexus before. Go look at their last post and see what they did and say, talk to them about it. You know, maybe they have a prayer request on their wall that you've totally missed because we're laser focused on signing them up on the triplex. Like, let's connect first. And now if they bring plexus up to you, I'm like, it's totally fine. If they bring plexus up to you, then you can discuss with them. That's the rule. But you don't bring it up. And then after that, you spend time furthering conversations with other groups of people that you have been in conversation with that you maybe connected with yesterday during your connection time. And then tomorrow, you can further that conversation and share with them about what you're doing or whatnot and take that on. But what I've noticed is not only is it really good for them, but it almost refuels and refills our cups as well. Because when you are feeling like you're in a pit or you're like, nothing is working, I feel like I'm stuck, pouring into somebody else, you know, they always say, find something to do for someone else. When you feel like you're at a loss, find a way to serve. And so it's just been so really eye-opening to see that. And the connection, what's really neat about it is that when you're truly connecting with people, those connections, just like what Julia was saying, they actually turn into conversations that lead to conversions. Conversions, meaning they went from a person that I was talking to, a person I was connecting to a prospect, to a customer, to a possible maybe your next Emerald ambassador. But it all started with that connection. And sometimes we're just like so straightforward and like laser focused, we just bulldoze past that. And it's not because we don't care. And when you go back to the connection piece of it, it feels really good for them, but it also feels really good for you. And it kind of restores I feel like it has kind of restored my passion as to why I'm actually here and why I'm actually, doing what I'm doing. And so it's also a really great way to protect our peace. And I'm going to say just a few words. I feel like the connections, the conversations, and the conversions really goes along with what Julia was saying about, we're talking to people now, and that seed that's planted now may not actually flourish until January or February or March, maybe. But we're planting that seed now, we're connecting now, and those conversations can lead to conversions. This time of year especially, I think it's really important all the time, and my team gets tired of me talking about it, but I do time block, and I'm not perfect at it. But I will say that time blocking and sitting down and planning, when we plan our weeks, it protects our peace. It doesn't mean that the plan was executed perfectly. That like almost literally never happens in my real life. I may have it all planned out, and that's great. It feels so good, but something always changes. But because I have everything else planned out, I have everything else blocked off. I have all my family schedule where everybody needs to be all the time. Then I have blocks of time for me to get in the Word, in the Bible. That's first thing every morning. Like Julia was saying, for me, it's very first thing before everybody else gets up. And then I have blocks of time for my family where like my phone, if I have it on me because I'm taking pictures or whatever, or we're listening to music or using my phone for something, the notifications are off. So if somebody's messaging me, I don't even know. Like it doesn't make an alert. It doesn't do anything. I don't see it. And then I block in times for working. And because I do that, when something comes up and my daughter forgets something that she was supposed to leave the house with this morning, and I have to make a trip to school that I wasn't planning on, and it was maybe during my work time, not that that ever happens, but might have happened today. Then I know exactly where I'm moving that block of time because I have everything else blocked out. So I'm like, well, it can't go there, it can't go there, it can't go there. Oh, there's an hour. I can plug it in there. So it makes it just really simple because my plan never goes off without a hitch. Like, something always happens. Like, I am a mom of toddlers and a teenager and like all the things. So, but when I plan and prepare my week, then when things do go a little haywire, I know where to move things around. And it's like, it's a really, really fun game of Tetris. So, protect your peace, especially this week. Even if you're like, you know what, I have 62 holiday parties to get to before next Tuesday, and I cannot do my regular 2 hours or 1 hour or whatever it is that you have blocked off to work a day, then cut that in half and fill it in and be really intentional with that time. But be really intentional with your time with your family too, because it's so important that you protect your peace. If you don't, you're going, I know, beyond a shadow of a doubt because I did it. I was working in every nook and cranny. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I was super overwhelmed. I felt like I was working all the time. And the truest statement that I can share with you is I was getting way less done than when I would just block 1 hour and say, okay, during this hour, I am going to reach out to brand new people. During my hour tomorrow, I am going to follow up with people. During my hour later this evening, I'm going to reach out to customers and see how they're doing. And I get as far as I can get, and then I know the next time block is for the next thing. And I've gotten way more done than instead of trying to work in every nook and cranny and feeling like I'm working all the time, but I'm actually not getting very far. So protect your peace because it's so important to be present with your family, to refill your cup always, all the time, but especially this time of year. You don't want to look back and be like, man, I was on my phone working through our family dinner or our family Christmas, and whatever it is, be intentional. And like Julia said, plan and prepare ahead of time. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily working less, but you're working harder and more intentionally in that time. And I guarantee you, every single one of us, if we're really being honest with ourselves, can find an hour or at least 30 minutes a day to put into this business because it means something for us. It means something for our family's future. And it's more than worth that. So, I made a couple notes here so I didn't forget. Oh, and also, like Julia said, the devil is going to get in your head. Anytime you try to prep, plan, or bring peace to your life, the devil's going to be like, no, I'm just going to sneak up in here and try to throw everything off and get in your head, tell you all the lies. And you just need to learn to recognize it quickly and tell him to just go sit on a fiery cactus and go straight back to hell. Because he doesn't get a say in your business, in your life, your personal life. He doesn't. So you put him in his place, you recognize it and put him in his place and move forward. This is a really hectic time of year. So people tend to get burnout, and that's why I'm harping on protecting your peace. This business I think there's a very high rate of burnout because we don't put a focus on that in this business, and we can work from anywhere, anytime. And that is such a huge blessing. But just because you can work from anywhere, anytime doesn't mean that you should work all the time from anywhere. One verse that I like to remind people of is Galatians 6:9. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. And it's so true. Oh, I lost you. I totally minimized Zoom. Sorry. There, I felt like I was talking to a spreadsheet for a second. There you are. So anyway, I love that verse because it reminds us to not get weary. If we plant the seed and it takes a couple of months of love and conversation to convert, then how much of a blessing can you be to that person during that time and beyond? And honestly, sometimes it takes a year, sometimes it takes 2 years, sometimes it takes longer than that. But there are going to be other people because you're going to continue to make those connections and have those conversations. There are going to be other people that are ready, and that is the beauty of it. So don't get weary in well doing, because God promises that he's never not kept a promise. Like, that's a really cool thing. There's never a promise that he hasn't kept. And he says, in due season we shall reap if we faint not. That's a huge part of this. If you faint not. So don't quit. Protect your peace. Be present with your family this season. Put it all out on your calendar. Everything, everywhere you have to be, every mom taxi that you have to get people to a million different places all at the same time. I know how that works. It's like, oh, and then we just add things on at the last minute. That never happens to anyone else, I know. But just protect your peace and be present with your family, and you will not regret that. Be very intentional with your work time. It is important. And you are doing it. Remember what you're doing it for. It is for your family. It is for your future. It is for other people's families. But also be very intentional with your time with your family and be present. And don't be afraid to, I know a lot of people use their phones for taking family pictures or Christmas or whatever. Great, do that, but turn the notifications off. If you're all together, why do you need to have your notifications on? You're all there. Everybody that you love, not everybody in the world maybe, but everybody that you need to know where they are at that moment are all in the same room. Turn your notifications off. When my family is all together, I'm like, you know what? I'm not worried about anybody getting stuck on the side of the road. Nobody's been in, a horrific accident or something like that. We're all here. I'm turning the notifications off. So, one last thing I wanted to mention to you guys is that we are hosting a Silver in Six group. So keep this in mind as you are reaching out, as you're connecting to people, as you are building up people on your team. We are hosting a Silver in Six group December 29th through January 2nd. So it's going to go that week after Christmas, starting on Monday. And it's going to be very simple. I know that there's a lot of groups that there's like a million posts a day to keep up with, and you feel like you have to engage in that, and then before you know it, you realize you haven't even made a post on your own wall, and because you didn't plan ahead and you didn't time block. But that's just me, just putting a plug in for time blocking and planning ahead. If you did that, then you wouldn't have to worry about it. But just a shameless plug for planning ahead and organizing your week. But that it's gonna be just a simple, like the Silver in Six, the OG videos that with Jessica Heffley and Jordan Roddenberry, we're gonna post one a day in the morning. There's gonna be like a post with actual helpful tools, like to be able to complete that homework. And then there's going to be a check-in post at the end of the day. We are going to do giveaways for people that actually participate and complete their homework. So think of, I mean, anybody that I have that's building a business, I want to be in the group. But then I want them to add anybody that is even open to the idea of sharing their referral link. Like, even if you're just like, if you're like this, then okay, maybe not you. But if you are like, oh, sure, then we are going to add people to that group. And that's going to be kicking off December 29th. Yes.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's awesome. I love
I
it.
forgot something.
And you had talked about a power hour, but you decide on if you decide to do that, and then you could put it in the thread too.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that because I do need to. I just got home, had a call, and then jumped on this one. So I haven't even looked at my calendar, but
you're good.
Tentatively Friday morning, we're gonna do a power hour. So,
okay,
but I'll
perfect.
the thread.
I love that. So I have a fun activity that I would really love to do with everybody. That's kind of like a fun little visionary exercise.
Yeah.
So if you have your phone, you want to make notes on your phone, or if you just want to think about it, we're going to share this with each other because obviously we're in a safe space, and I think you guys are all going to love this. But we're going to remember our dream. So if you want to, I want you to, if you want to write it down, write it down. If you would rather just kind of sit back and close your eyes, just sit back and close your eyes because I want you to envision this. So maybe just for right now, close your eyes and I want you to envision this. So imagine in 5 years from now, there is a online article written about your success in the industry that you're working in. So there is an online article you come across that is written about you and your success with Plexus. What would that exciting headline be on that article? I want you to think about it. You can write it down if you want to. If you don't want to write it down, you can just think about it, but think about what would that exciting headline say? As you're thinking about what this positive headline is going to be, I want you to also be thinking of the feelings that you're going to describe as you're reading it. So, in that article, like the body of the article, whatever it's saying, I want to know what you're doing. Speak specifically about what type of things you're doing. I want to know the environment. Where are you doing it? Or whom are you doing it with? I want you to use feeling words. How does that success feel? and I want it to have something in there about the impact that you're having on the others around you. So describe your feeling words. What are you doing? Where are you at? Who are you with? What is the environment like? How do you feel? What does that success feel like? And who are you impacting?
Totally suck at writing, just so you know.
You're good. Same.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Now what I want you to do is what you have. I want you to take that and I want you to put it into ChatGPT. And I want you to tell it, ChatGPT, I'm doing a visionary exercise. And this is what, so this is in 5 years, and I can type this out and I'll send it to you in 5 years. So then you can kind of type it in there. In 5 years, there's going to be an article written about my amazing success in Plexus. Here's what I want it to say. Here's what I want to feel. Here's all of these things. And I want you to read what it gives you. Okay. Let me get it right here because I have it right here. I'm going to post it in the chat. And then you're going to have it fill in what you're wanting it to say. So the things that you've thought about that you're writing down, have it fill those in. And when it comes to like the feelings, you're going to put, here's what I'm doing. Here's how I want to feel. This is what success feels like to me. And this is the impact I'm leaving. And then I would love for somebody to share, if they're willing to, what that gives to them. Oh, I forgot to tell you at the end, whenever you're tagging it, say, now make this article for me so I can read it. Sorry. You'll want to tell it to make the article for you so that you can read it.
Um, I can't read my headline.
Do it.
Bold, beautiful, and booming at 50. How Darcy Teason retired early and rewrote wellness story.
Oh, I love that. That is
Big
so
in
good.
the Better Business Journal or not Better Business, Wichita Business Journal. How they do the fabulous at 40, like successful people. Like I love reading those articles about young CEOs and all of that stuff. And so it was like, yeah, this is cool.
That's awesome. How does that make you feel?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
What is the impact that you're having?
This is kind of long.
That's okay.
redefining recovery through wellness and faith. What sets Darcy's success apart isn't just the numbers, though they are impressive. Multiple six figures, debt-free life, and retired fully at 50. It's who she chooses to serve. Darcy became a pioneer to bring out gut health and metabolic wellness into recovery spaces, supporting men and women rebuilding their lives after addiction, trauma, and burnout. She spoke openly about healing the body and how it can quiet cravings, stabilizing moods, and restoring hope. But she never separates faith from function. That's so cool.
I love that.
Love it.
That's awesome. You're gonna have to take some time sometime this week, and you can keep working that to make it like more in depth if you want to. That's the fun part about these exercises that I love, is you can make them so crystal clear. I feel like, to me, it helps me because I have that vision, but sometimes words are hard, and doing different exercises like this really bring those things to life for me. I think that is so good for you, Darcy. That is such a good one for you.
Well, and I feel like my why changes all the time. Like, it changes all the time after starting this ministry to serve the recovery houses. Like, I feel I actually took my Plexus check and put it in a separate account for that ministry. Like, I just put it away, and I'm trying to fuel that and look at it differently. So
I feel
like my why has just changed completely in the last 2 months. So yeah, so this is really, really good for me, and I appreciate it very much.
You are so welcome. So proud of you.
Thank you, honey.
Alyssa, do you want to share?
Turn on. Okay, so what I wrote down on my paper was my title, Called Higher Than 6 Feet Under.
Ooh. That's so good for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's long. Do you want me to read it all or just kind of brief?
Just kind of browse through it and kind of pick out the highlights of what
Sure.
what
So
sticked out.
5 years ago, she didn't look like a leader on a stage or the face of movement. She looked like a mother in survival mode, juggling kids, career responsibility, and a heart that quietly wondered, is there more than this constant running? She went from survival mode to sacred ground. For years, many of the women she now leads were living just above 6 feet under, emotionally exhausted, spiritually dry, and physically depleted. They loved their families deeply, yet they felt stuck in a cycle of surviving instead of living. Through her leadership, she's reminded them of simple but life-changing truth. God still opens doors when we stop running long enough to let him move. Today, she's mentoring and poured into hundreds, if not thousands of women, many of whom are now leaders themselves. Mothers who once doubted their worth now speak with confidence. Women who felt unseen now leads teams, businesses, and communities with grace and integrity.
Oh, man.
Faith first, always. She's quick to say none of this was built by her own strength. There were seasons she wanted to quit, seasons of stretching, pruning, and waiting. But in every moment, God proved faithful. When she slowed down and trusted him, doors opened that no amount of striving could ever be forced. And then it says her message remains simple and steady. You are not buried, you are planted. You are not behind, you are being prepared. You are called higher than 6 feet under.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Gosh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah, I do too.
What about you?
So my title is Built on Jesus, Fueled by Love, How One Woman's Faith-Led Business Became a Light for Health and Hope. And then it says the environment is alive with purpose and warmth, a positive space where laughter flows easily through conversation. Even though the phone buzzes, encouragement and prayers seek out for others, spoken as naturally as a greeting. What fills the room is more than just productivity, it's empowerment. A question quietly echoes beneath it all. Is there an answer for this woman who had been felt bound financially and held back, and is seeking like hearted women to walk alongside her. In this space, inspiration is shared freely. Light and intentionality brought joy and rises overwhelming in the best way. It's deeply humbling to witness an opportunity unfolding that feels so clearly ordained. This journey has not been without a hard season. There were dry months when orders were few or non existent, moments when doubt tried to creep in and persistence felt costly. These were the quiet test of faith, choosing obedience when results were unseen, continuing to serve when the numbers did not reflect the effort. In those moments, prayer carried the weight and trust in Jesus became the anchor, reminding her that the calling was never dependent on immediate outcomes. From mothers balancing full days to grandmothers pouring wisdom into generations to families from all walks of life seeking hope and healing, these lives have been impacted in ways that reach far beyond a screen. The love and restoration are tangible. In each connection she grew was a deep personal friendship, and every story shared became a testimony. The work that she did simply was not about financial freedom, but better health for others. It was about perseverance, belonging to provision. Led by Jesus, sustained by love, and strengthened through every dry season, the answer began to take shape in community, faith, and courage to remain faithful through it all.
That is amazing. So here's what I want you guys to remember. These articles are truly your future as you stick with what the Lord has placed on your hearts here. Because the thing is, we're building so much more than a business for Plexus and health and wellness. We're building a community of women who rise up into the God-called women and warriors of this next generation. And that is up to you, that is up to me, and it is up to each and every one of us to be doing our due diligence, to having conversation, building relationships, being the Lord's hands and feet, so that when that one person who is waiting on us to touch their lives with what we have to offer, when they're ready, we are there. And we are there with an answer, and we are there with a friendship, and we're there with a opportunity to set them free from something that has bound them for a long time. Because even though each of our stories are different, God wants to not just rise you up in your story, but he wants to rise other women and men. I mean, I guess, if we attract some men along the way, awesome. But he wants to use every one of us to step into those callings, because I guarantee you, I'm not the only nurse out there that wants to be able to be home with their babies, but also loves the Lord and wants to be able to see people set free in different ways that have, held them down for years. Alyssa, you're not the only, are you technically considered a mortician? Okay, so that's what I thought. But you're not the only mortician out there that wants more in life and that knows that there's so much more to be had in this life than just being a mortician. Like Darcy, you're not the only recovering alcoholic that wants to see other people live a life of freedom and love. And those are the people that you're looking for. Those are the people that God is going to put you in their path to impact, to change their lives. And then wait for it, because you're going to be that ripple effect where it begins to snowball. And not only are you going to touch one person's life, but then they're going to touch somebody's life, and then they're going to touch somebody's life. And that person, that next conversation that you and me may have, may be the person that's called to be the culture shifter for their families, that has been stuck in a rotation of debt and depression for years, that you have the ability to give them freedom in their finances. It may be the person who is, lived a life in shame, that has been living in the belief that their testimony was not worth sharing in public, and you're going to help them see that the Lord calls them to a higher ground, and it's okay because you've been there too. And you want to hold their hand through this, and you want to help them see that there's more to life. Like, each one of us are called to do a different thing, but that's the thing is we're all called to something much higher than what it feels like just getting people into Plexus. And I think when we really step into that and we realize that that's why we're here, and we remember those specific stories for each one of us and how different each of those stories are, you have a little bit more of a clear vision on who you're going for, who you're looking for. You have a little bit more of a clear vision on what you're going to do. And you have a little bit of fire under your feet because you're like, okay, Lord, that's right. I know sometimes it feels heavy, but the moment it feels heavy, it means you're doing something right. And you just got to keep pressing in. You just got to keep moving forward. And you just have to keep becoming who the Lord is growing you to be. So I am so proud of you guys. I am so excited for the end of this month. You guys, this month is literally just the middle. It already feels like it's been a month and a half to me, but it's okay. It is literally just the middle, but you know what? What a beautiful thing to still have 2 weeks left in this month. There are still a lot of lives out there that are waiting on us to change them. And I know that we're going to do it. We're all going to have an incredible Christmas week. I do not believe we have team call next week. So I'll verify that with Cassie, but I'm pretty sure we're taking next week off because Tuesday just is too close to like Christmas Eve and stuff. But we will for sure meet on I think it's the 30th. Is that the last Tuesday? The 30th is Tuesday. The 31st is the next day. And we're going to meet and we're going to work and we're going to blow this place up because you guys, January is going to be something spectacular. I feel the Lord moving in this team like I have never felt it before. And it is going to be beautiful to watch and to be part of. And I am so excited to be in the trenches with you and to be doing it right alongside you. So I am so proud of you guys. Go forth, be blessed. I'm going to pray over you. Actually, Tanya, do you mind praying over everybody?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay.
Heavenly Father, Lord, just thank you for this opportunity to come together as women, Lord, for seeking your guidance on our business, seeking your guidance on our family. The information that you laid on Julia and Aaron's heart, Lord, it was just right in tune to what you have been speaking to me and probably so many others. This season of rest, this season of continuing to put you first and just continuing to be patient and trust your timing. To know and understand who you are, Lord, and just to be spirit led. Lord, as we go out in our next week, do not let the hindrance of the enemy continue to attack the minds of those that maybe are being attacked. Do not let the fear of the enemy get involved, but bring peace and understanding and just let us walk in a empowerment of knowing who we are and whose we are. Lord, we are daughters of the King. We are chosen. We are beautiful. We are all the things that you've called us to be in this time, in this moment, and in this season. And Lord, as we gather with our families, like Aaron said, just let us be still in the moment, be still and know and trust that, if we seek you first, that you will make things still come to fruition. And Lord, just to be present in the time with our families over the next few weeks. But also give us clarity on who we need to speak to, who we need to message, the customers that need our help and need health and happiness, and just what we have here, the community that we have, the love that we have, the unity that we have. And Lord, I also pray for the upcoming retreat as we are 3.5 weeks away. Lord, I pray for what you've put on the hearts of those of us that are going to be teaching. I pray for the beds that are still empty that need to be filled. Lord, that you hand choose those women. And I pray for our chef. I pray for the one who is preparing the food, the people that are in charge, all the women that'll be involved. Lord, I ask all these things in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen. All right, ladies, love you all. And we will see you soon. Have a very Merry Christmas if I don't actually see your faces before then. So, love you, ladies. Bye.
Bye.